So once you, okay, so we'll continue with the S4HANA installation. So once you're done with the database installation with LC live with live cache. Okay, if you have the requirement for the live cache, then you need. Once that is done, then you have to run the SWPM. So SWPM is downloaded automatically with it's comes with the maintenance planner. It get downloaded automatically through the it get added automatically in the XML files in the download basket. You don't need to download separately. So here we are using SWPM 2.0. So SWPM 2.0 will work for S4HANA installation. So also the some of the export DVD is also downloaded. Those export DVD we don't need to unzip. So in the older traditional like ECC system, if you are installing, then we download the export DVDs and then we unzip and then we provide the uh, label.exe file during the installations. But here we don't need to unzip anything. We have to keep everything in the download folders. We have to create a download folders on a servers as for HANA application servers. Put everything inside that, all the DVDs, whatever you have downloaded to the maintenance planner. So during the SWPM run, SWPM will extract automatically this zip files. Okay, and you have to ensure that 100 GB should be free in the folders or file systems where you keeping your download files. So with the SWPM, so in the new SWPM with S4HANA, the sum is also integrated. If you want to run sum after the SWPM installations, then sum automatically runs SWPM automatically run the sum tools in the backgrounds, and then you it's provided the URLs, and you open the URLs, and then you start with the support pack upgrade after the installations. If you don't want to integrate, you can during the installation you can uncheck that I don't want to I don't want some to be started after the SWPM is completed automatically. So you can uncheck and then you have to run manually. You have to extract some tool manually and then you have to run a script and then URL will come. You use that URL in the browsers and then you proceed with the installation. Okay, clear as of now till now here.
Yes.
Okay, fine. So we have to extract, we have to create a one folders SWPM. Inside that, you put everything, okay, your SWPM and then SAP car utility as well. And then you extract the SWPM. Once it is extracted, then you run the SAP-inst to install. During the SAP-inst installation, you have to provide these parameters. So if you see that SAP-inst use host name. So this is here you have to use the virtual host name. So SAP recommended you always use virtual host name for your SAP installation. So once you pass these parameters, then by default your SAP system installed on the virtual host name. So whatever the host name you provide here, it will take that one and it will install the SAP applications on this host name. So here my case, my virtual host name is as for H servers. Okay, and then you just provide this one SAP-inst accept internal signature is equal to true. Okay, and then you have to provide the XML files stack underscore SAP-inst underscore stacks underscore XML equal to and the location of the XML file. So where you have kept the XML file in the download. So you have to keep everything in the download folders except your SWPM. SWPM should be outside of your downloads. Okay, so here you have to provide the complete part of your XML files which you have downloaded for your S4HANA and then enter. Let me maximize. So here, if you see, I have given, and then here the output of the SWPM, and then here the URL will provide URLs. So let me maximize. I will share these documents in the Google Drives. Okay. So if you see here, so this URL you will get. So you have to copy this URL, okay, and you have to paste this URL in the browsers. Okay, okay, and then use login user is root. You have to use the root. We have to run this SWPM with the root. Okay, open this here and then provide the root and the password of the root. Okay, so this is the URL for your SWPM. Okay, then sign in. You will get like this. Okay, so you don't need to choose anything. Okay, so by default with the XML files, whatever you have chosen for your installation, it will show only that one. If you don't use the XML file, then it will show complete every lot of things. It will show you like as for 1909, 1809, okay, everything. But here, if you use the XML file, it will show you the your SID. Okay, whatever the SID you have in the XML files, whatever you use during the generation of the XML files, okay, that time whatever the SID you provided, it will take by default here. And then this is the version. And then you have to just expand SAP S4 HANA Server 2020. Okay. And then go to the HANA. So S4 HANA only install on the HANA database, then installations, then application. Okay, application servers. That is ABAP base, and then standard systems, and then click on the standards. Okay, so now here trick is there. So here in the real scenario, okay, so in my scenario in this demo systems, I have installed application and the database on same host. Okay, in your case, always 99% customers go with the distributed installation. Okay, so in the distributed installation, your database will be on separate box, your application will be on separate box. Okay, so in that case, if your application, the notepad, yeah, notepad, let me open the notepad. Notepad will be so for example, in your case, your requirement is that for non-production, non-prod systems, you got a node 1 for your application as for HANA apps, and node 2 for HANA DB. Okay. Okay. So in that case, you will be installing the database on node 2 and then application on node 1. Okay. So with this option standard. So in the standard one, okay, in the standard one, it will installed the ASCS and pass. Okay. Okay. So this is for the non-production. If you have the requirement for quality system, that is the non-prod example, you want that we call a pre-production systems. Or if there is a requirement that your pass and ACS should be on separate box. Okay, so you will be getting node 2 something. Here you will be getting node 3. Okay, so this is for S4 HANA. In this case, you have to go with the distributed installation. So if you go in the distributed installation, you will see ACS installation, DB installation, and then PAN installations. So in the distributed installation, the sequence will be like this. Sequence will be like this. So here you install the database. Okay, here you have installed the database. Okay, so we need, ACS instance, pass, we need DB instance. So here it is not a DB instance, it is a database software. Okay, so we need to create a DB instance with SWPM. Okay, with this option, okay, here your DB instance also installed. Okay, with this option, if you go with the standard one, then everything will get installed on the node one. If it is distributed, okay, if you are putting ACS, pass, everything on the on distributed, okay, then here here you will be installing the ACS. Okay, then for the pass you will be installing the pass, and then here DB instance. Sequence will be for installation. First ACS will come, okay, and you have to install the DB instance. Then at the end pass will come. Okay, so this is the sequence if you are going with the non-prod distributed installation. Okay, for the production, if you have requirement, for example, if you have requirement for production, HA, high availability, okay, for your apps and your DB as well. Okay, so for DB we know that through the DB level we can have the HSR. Okay, here you will be having the node 1 for DB and node 2 for DB, primary and the secondary. Okay, this is what DB you can achieve through the HSR. But for your pass and the ACS, how it would be? So basically, in the distributed in the HA environment, we have to select this one, high availability systems. So in that, the sequence will be for your application. So you will be having the multiple nodes. So here you will be having the node 1, then node 2, 3. Node 1, node 2, I will put like this, and then node 3. So on the, if you expand this one, high availability systems, so you will get the options. First option, ACS install the ACS. Okay, then second, you will get install ERS. Okay, so ACS you have to install on the first node, then ERS you have to install on the second node. Okay, and then here you have to install your DB instance and then pass. Or any additional node is there, for example, for us, you install the additional application server. Okay, so like this, you can install the systems. Okay, so this will be on the clusters. Okay, so ASCS and the ERS will be in the clusters. So OS team will configure the cluster. Okay, and then if any node goes down, for example, node 1 goes down, okay, then ASCS will move on ERS. If ERS down, then ERS will be on ASCS. Okay, clear this one? Any question, guys? All good?
Yeah.
I'm audible, right? Fine. Okay. Once you decided, go with the options. If you see standard systems, it says that ACS database instance and the primary application instance will install on single servers. Okay, so I selected that one. Okay. Then this page will open. Okay, so just accept it. Okay, and then click next. So it says that only use the SAP DVDs from the service marketplace. Then click next. Select a custom. Then click next. What is the difference between typical and custom? If you go with the typical, then it will take a minimum the parameters and it will install your systems. In customs, we choose how we want to install our systems. Okay, so that's the reason we are customizing. Okay, so always go with the custom option. Don't go with the typical options. Okay, customs. Then we have to provide the SIDs. Okay, so what is this SID? This SID is for your application. So my application S4HANA application SID is S4T, and this SAP MNT which we need. So OS team, we send the details to them what mount point we need. So this will come by default. Here you have to specify the SID number of your application. Okay, this is for SAP systems ID. Okay, not the database ID. It is SAP systems ID. Okay, then click next. Then set the fully qualified domain name. In my case, it was not there, but in your case, it will be there. And you have to select your FQDN, like .com, reliance.com. You have to put reliance.com. So your FQDN will be host names dot reliance.com. Just give me 2 minutes. Yeah. So in your case, you have to provide the FQDN. Okay. So here, like reliance.com. So your the fully qualified domain name will be hostname dot reliance.com. And click next. And provide the master password. Okay. So whatever the password you use, you just provide. Okay. So this will be a master password for all the user ID, DB user ID, then SID ADM, everywhere this master password will set. Okay, so here it is asking you S4 SID ADM, OS user ID and the password. So it will take by default. We have provided the master password. Okay, and then here is if you want to provide the UID. Okay, if you have any special requirement to have the UID for the S4T ADM, then you can put here, and then otherwise you don't have the requirement, then by default it will take whatever is available. Okay. Okay, so this is for your OS admin. Okay, OS admin, SID ADM for the application. Okay, then click next. So by default, login shell is the C shell for the SID ADM. Okay, don't change that one. Click next, and then here you have to provide the host name. Okay, and then instance number, and then database SID and the password of system users of your database. So here this is the tenants. It is saying that SAP HANA database tenant. So I created one tenant database. Okay, and then I have specified this all this. So S4 HANA is my database host, instance number of the database, and then S40 is my database SID. Okay, and then here is the password for my S40 system users. Okay, then click next. This is the tenant database. Yeah. So in this tenant database, your application S4 HANA will install. So the schema will be created in this S40 tenant database. Okay. Then here again it will ask for the system DB. Okay. So here it is asking provide the system DB password. Okay. System DB password of system users. Okay. This is system users. Okay. It will take by rest is default because we have specified here. Okay. So it will ask provide the password for system DB of this particular systems. Okay. So here is the system DB password. Okay. But it will only use for connection purpose. Okay. Once it is connected, then it will create the schemas and everything. Then click next. Okay. Then here the media you have to specify download folders. Okay. Then click next. Specify the location of the softwares. Yeah. So we have, so here you will be having all the software. You will be put all the softwares here. This is the download folders. Okay. Once you specify this one, so from here on the next screens, it will take 30 to 40 minutes. Okay, 30 to 40 minutes it will take. But why? Because this download folder is very huge. Size in use, maybe, 20 GB or 25 GB, maybe. Okay. So it will scan all the download folders. Everything it will get, it will scan. Okay. So around 30 to 40 minutes it will take. And then after that, you will get the screens. Okay, like this. Okay, so it will take by default everything. You don't need to specify again and again. So in the older systems, if you see that we provide the kernels, we provide the clients DVDs, we provide the software DVDs of the database, then export DVDs, lot of DVDs it asks. Okay, but it will automatically detect. Okay, so whatever you have kept here, whatever you keep under the download folders, it will take all by default. Okay, it will scan and then wherever it is possible, it will map it. Okay, if you see here, SAP execute SAP kernels, exe, IGS. Okay, everything. If you see, it is automatically picked. Okay, I not specify anything. Just specify one, this one, and then it will take everything. Okay, here, then click next. Here, you have to use upgrade or install SAP host agent, whatever the option you will come. Okay, and then it is took automatically the host agent as well. From where? Download. You don't need to specify anything. Only click next and provide the inputs. You need to waste our time for selecting the packages. Okay, so it detect automatically everything. Okay, whatever the packages or software it's need. So SWA pick up media location automatically. Okay. And then install the live cache. So here is the option. You can install the live cache in the HANA database. Okay. So decide whether you want to use SAP live cache integrated in SAP HANA database or external live cache based on MaxDB. Okay. So if you have the S4 HANA, then people will go with the live cache if there is a requirement. Okay. So this is the APU system. So we can say that APU is integrated. Okay. So there is a requirement, then you have to install the live cache in the database. Just we have installed. Okay. And I explained last session. Okay. You just check box this one and then click next. Then client. So you want to keep your client as a local client or central clients. So difference between is that if you keep the local client, then again, if you install the any additional application servers, then there it won't ask you the, there it won't ask you to install the HANA client. Okay. So basically HANA client is required any database client required for the application to communicate with the database. So application is connected to the database through the database client, whether it is Oracle, SQL, IBM DB2, whatever it is. So each and every database has their own client. So S4HANA will connect to HANA database, okay, using the HANA client. So this HANA client we have to decide whether we want to install as a local or central. If you are installing as a central, okay, then during the additional application installation, this screen it won't ask. Okay, so I use always local, so it doesn't matter. Okay, so whether even if you are installing additional application, okay, if it is local, then it will ask you to select. Always use local. Also, you can use the central as this all depends on your requirement. Okay, so functionality will not change. Okay, so for simplifications, we use the local client directories. Okay, and then okay, HANA client, it will ask for the HANA client. So it takes automatically by default. So this is the HANA client, okay, which required by the S4HANA. So this HANA client will install automatically in application. Okay, okay, application will use this client to connect the database. Then if you click next after, then all the export DVDs, if you see that export 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, everything gets picked automatically. You have to just check the status available. If it is missing, then we have to select it. Otherwise, not required. If you see that everything is picked up automatically. Otherwise, if this option is not, then you have to specify one by one all the DVDs. Okay, so it is time consuming. So this is the good one. Okay. So if you see that lot of DVDs are there, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think 25, 28, I think there's 24, I think 24. Yeah. Yes, so this and then click next. Once checks all the status and then click next. Here, a DBA cockpit user will be created during the installations. So basically, this DBA cockpit is used uh, uh, between application S4HANA and database. So this DBA cockpit user will be created in the database, okay, under the S4T schema, S4T tenants. Okay, so DBA cockpit application will use whenever you execute a T code, a DBA cockpit in the S4HANA systems. That T code use the DBA cockpit uses and it connect to the database and it provide you the data details of the your database. So you can monitor your database from the DB cockpit as well. Okay, so it is just giving me it is just a users which connect from application to database. If you want to monitor, you use the DB cockpit. Okay, same like HANA Studio. Whatever you do through the HANA Studio, the same thing you can do with the DB cockpit. You can monitor, you can do anything, but this will get connected to your tenants only, not the system DB. So you cannot connect to the system DB with the DB cockpit users. Here you have to provide the password for these users, yeah, and then click next. So here it is asking SAP HANA DB. This is the schema. If you see that this is the schema. So this is the schema for your S4 HANA application. Okay, so this is the schema SAP HANA DB. So by default, it is SAP HANA DB. Okay, so we cannot change this one. Okay, provide the password for this one. So your application is connected to the database using the SAP HANA DB schema. Okay, so one schema will be created with SAP HANA DB and the schema with the same name is created. All users, data, application, everything will be there inside this schema. So whatever you do in SAP application, whatever you enter, delete, modify the data, those all will be get updated in SAP HANA DB schema. Okay, so application is connected to the SAP HANA DB schema using the SAP HANA DB schema users and then this password. Okay, so this schema users ID and the password automatically updated into the HDB user store at the application layer. So in the application, how your database, how your application is connected to the database to the HDB user store. Inside the HDB user store, this detail is mentioned: the user ID for the SAP schema, then password, and then host name and the port number of your index servers. This will be your database information. So database information will be maintained in the HDB user store. So it is maintained in application servers. Okay, application uses that HDB user store to connect to the database for SID ADM. So at the OS level, you will see that HDB user store. Okay, when you log in with the SID ADM on your application S4 HANA and you execute HDB user store list, okay, then it will show you the user store, this keys. This is the keys basically we call. So this key, the key are maintained in the HDB user store with the connections details. That connections is used by the application to connect to the database. Then click next. And here, this is the what I talked just now. HANA secure user store. That is the HDB user store. Okay, this HDB user store is used. So either you can connect with ABAP, SSFS. We don't use this one, ABAP FSSS. So HANA secure user store. That is the HDB user store we use the most of the time. Okay, you will see this only with the database. Okay, and this is recommended. So it will get automatically updated with this informations, with this all informations at application for the SID users. Then here is it is saying that make sure that 90% of the memory is available. Okay, do not restrict anything. Okay, if you restrict, then you have to make sure that 90% of the memory is available for your systems. Fine, just a warning. Click OK. And then this is the default one. Don't modify anything. We will do it after the installations. Then you can run the parameters configuration checks in the HANA database, and whatever the recommendation will come, that recommendation you have to apply. Okay, so take the default, don't change anything, click next. This is the HANA database parameters, configuration parameters, INF parameters. Click next. This is also, yeah. Click next. Here you have to specify the instance number of your primary application and ASCS. Okay, so here the primary application is 01. Okay, and then ASCS is 02. Okay, so whatever you want to provide, you can provide. Okay, so depends upon your requirement. Next. So instance number should be ensure that you should have different for your pass, ASCS and your DB. If you see that this is the HDB is the my system DB. Inside that system DB, I have the S4T as a tenant database. Okay, if you see that instance number for HDB is 00. Okay, so this all is getting installed on one server. In your case, if this is separate and this is separate and distributed, then this is doesn't matter. So whatever you use, if the same number if you use here, it doesn't matter because both are on a separate servers. Okay, but on the same box, you cannot have the same SIDs. Okay, same instance number. You can have different SIDs and different instance number for your application and the database if you are installing on single servers. Then here is the message server port number. Okay, and then internal message server port number automatically 3602 3902 and click next. Here you have to specify the number of dialogues, so don't specify anything. This is a work process, let it be default. Later you can change it as per your requirement. Then ICM user ID and the password. Okay, so it is a default password, let it be. Then here, don't configure the SLD, don't connect the systems with the solution manager during the installation. You do it later once your system is installed. If you integrate, if you give the connection parameters, then if something goes wrong, if something connectivity is having the issues, then your installation will fail. So no, so select no SLD destinations, and then later you can integrate with your solution manager or whatever SLD you have. And after that, here select by default do not create the message servers access control list. Okay, okay. So click next. So this access control list is the uh, uh, if you want to use, then you have to specify the host name IP address. Okay, whatever the system third party systems want to connect with your systems, then you have to specify those if you want to create. Okay, so don't specify during the installation. Later, if there is a requirement, then you can do it. Click next. And always install, integrated web dispatcher and the gateway. Okay, for S4HANA, not for the S4HANA, every systems. Okay, so it is recommended. And then here you have to provide the port numbers. So automatically it will take you the it will show you this port number. So don't change anything. Okay, just here you just click on the configure HTTP. Yes. Okay, I have selected no. Okay, but yeah, you select because we want to allow the HTTP from the internal systems as well. Okay, from internal networks. Okay, so just select yes. If there is a requirement not to use the HTTP, then you select no. Okay, but you select yes. Okay, and later if there's no requirement, you can hash out the HTTP port, ICM port from the profile parameters. But go with the yes option always. Okay. Next, so port will be a default. Okay. Then yeah, so don't do anything here. To keep it default. Okay. Click next. And then here, if you want to configure the TMS during the installations, okay, then you select run TMS configuration for single systems. Okay, this option is why it is required if you are doing the SWPM plus sum in one installation in one go, then you have to select run TMS configuration for single systems. Otherwise, you select no ABAP TMS configuration during the installations. TMS configuration is required if you are doing the update or upgrade. Without the TMS, you cannot perform the upgrade or update. The TMS configuration is required. You have to configure the TMS first. So in my scenario, I have combined SWPM and the some update in the one installations in the SWPM, and that's the reason I have selected run TMS configurations. Okay, then here you have to cover the password. Okay, for the TMS ADM in the client 0. Okay, okay, rest are default. So the here again, now it will ask you to provide the spam and the SANT. Okay, because before the sum start, the spam and SANT should be updated to latest. So here we have to specify. So this is already there in the download the folders. Okay, we have to specify the file names. Yeah. Okay, so it won't take by default. So it is only we specify manually. Okay, and then here you have to select the import. Yeah, once you select the import, yes, then you have to specify this one. And this is we have to specify. Otherwise, we always use the latest spam and SANT when we want to perform update or upgrade. Okay, so that is the mandatories. And click next. Okay, so here import transport. So if you have any additional transport to import, if you want to merge in the SWPM, you can merge it. But this is the initial systems. Okay, so we don't have any transport. Okay, if there is a requirement, basically there is no requirement. This is the optional SAP have given. Okay, don't know why it is given. So not required this one. So always select no. Import ABAP transport. I don't have any ABAP transport to import. I don't want to import any additional ABAP transport through the SWM. I will do it manually if it is required. Okay. So there is no requirement. So uh, so this option is additional. So not sure why it is given. Yeah. So leave it. Okay. So always use no. Then this is also default. Click next. Okay. So this is the ABAP language. If you have the additional ABAP, the language you want to install, you just specify this one, that language DVD. Okay. So if those language DVDs are there in the system in the download folders, then it will pick automatically. Otherwise, it will ask you. So if you want later decided you want to install additional license after the XML generated, then you can provide the folders name where you have the license, where you have the language. Sorry, not license, language. The language DVDs. Okay. Select and then click next. And then here you always select the default key for the non-production, and the production is individual key. Okay, and click next. And here it is asking for the sum. SAP systems ID is S4T, extract sum, that is a SAR file archive. Okay, yes, extract it and then start the sum automatically. So SWM will do automatically, it will extract the sum after the installation, and then it will also start the sum automatically. Okay, so if you don't want, you uncheck this one, but is in my case I have selected. Okay, but to have used this, you have to should configure the TMS. Yeah, run TMS in the previous year. This is mandatory. And then kernel is all this is mandatory if you integrate some. Okay, this is also mandatory. So these two we have to select. And then click next. Then here it will show you, it will pick automatically some directories. Okay, and then click next. Okay, then click next. Is the summary. Okay, so just cross check once. All good. If you feel that everything is good, there is no issue, then you can execute. So everything good in our examples. So this all, and then and click next. Once you verify, click next, and then you enter into the execution phase. We have defined the parameters, then it's enter into the review. Okay, the reviews. Once you review, once you click, it will enter into the execution phase. In the execution, a lot of things will happen. It will install the, it will create the user ID, SIDRM, then it will install the ASCS, pass, okay, and then database and everything. If you see here, install SAP database client, okay, yeah, everything. If you see the standard system, blah 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 blah, and then create a users for SAP system, install common file systems, then system profiles, template, unpack SAP archiving, then install SAP HANA database. Lot of activity we have. If you see here, create database schema, DB cockpit, then create a database schema, SAP HANA DB. So whatever we have specified, then set up the connections. This database connection is nothing but the SDB user store. Okay. Then so it takes around almost 2 to 3 hours in my systems. Okay. So yeah, so if you see here, this is the main one, import spam update. Okay. So yeah, so yeah, sorry, this one. This is the menu. Install SAP products on HANA, then extract installations. Where is that archiving then? Okay, no, this now, this one. Fine. So in S4 HANA, we don't have that one. Okay. So the total 19 job is running. Okay, the 4 are finished. Okay. So if this is basically, it is creating the schema here. is creating the schema here. It installing the SAP product into the HANA database. S4 HANA, it is creating a schema or database for the S4 HANA application. So here it takes a lot of time. We call a import phase, ABAP import. Once it is done, then you will get this all these things. Okay. Then you all are then after that you will get this is correct. Okay. So you see here integrated live cache, then remove users and sapiens group, then prepare some for run. Okay, start some. Okay. So here it will stop. Okay, and it will ask you. So it is started some automatically in the backgrounds. Okay, in the backgrounds, it is in the OS level. It is started the sum automatically. Okay, it extracted and then it is started in the prepared sum. So now it is asking us you start the sum. So how to start the sum? So here is the URL. If you see that two URLs are there, either you can use HTTP URLs. I will increase this one. Yeah, you use the HTTP URLs or you can use the HTTPS URL. Either you can use, okay, and then you use in the browsers and then you connect and then you provide the SID ADM user ID and the password S4T ADM and the password, and then you can proceed with the upgrade. Okay, so I have not started. I'll show you first the product version. So here if it is reached, that means that your S4 HANA application is installed. Your S4 HANA system is installed. S4 HANA ABAP system is installed without Fiori. Okay. So if you see your component, if you log in, you can log in. Your installation is done. Okay. Using the sum, you can do the patch and then Fiori add-on installation, APS and all that, and embedded one. Okay. So if you see, you have the all 0000. Okay. This is installed. Here you see the SAP code 105. If you click on the install product version, you will see only S4 HANA on premise. Here we don't have the Furies and all that. Okay, Furies add-on, FES, everything as for Fury, everything will come after the some upgrade. And if you see the kernel, 781 is the kernels. Okay, the patch level is the 100. Okay. Let's execute the C commands, all good. So you can proceed with the sum installation. So we'll see some tomorrow. Any questions till now?
I have questions. Sorry, I was unable.
Yeah.
One thing is about the PAS and AS, the instance number.
Mhm.
So you said that if it is on different systems like distributed, or if it is on different servers, then we didn't know we don't need to worry about the instance number we are putting in. So
Yeah.
Which means we can, so say suppose I have development quality production, so development is already created and I am now building the quality environment. I can repeat the instance number of that also.
Yeah. But make sure that your quality should not be installed on the same the servers where the development is installed.
So if the server is separate, the instance number, even if it is same, it doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. Yeah.
Okay. Second thing is, I have a confusion regarding the SID ADM and SAP service SID. Sometimes they say that it's a local or a domain account depending upon the type of installation you have chosen. Why is it that?
Come again.
So SID ADM and SAP service SID, these two accounts.
Okay, you're talking about Windows, I think, right?
Yes, yes.
So Windows, you will be having SID ADM and then SAP service SID. Okay. So what is question here? Here.
So they say that it can be a local or domain, a part of local or domain account depending upon the type of installation you have
Correct.
chosen. Where
Correct.
are we choosing this? We are not choosing it anywhere in the SWPM.
But here we use the Linux, na? Not the Windows.
Okay. So if it is a Windows based, will it show me anywhere from?
Yes. Yes. If you're installing the application on the Windows servers, then you will get the options whether you want to install as a local installation or domain installation.
Okay, and then I have to give the domain domain ID. I mean the
Yeah.
identity.
Domain administrator user ID.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So if you see my the session I have covered that part as well. If you've gone through my recordings, so on the Windows installation, what we need exactly? Yeah, these all things.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, so you go you go through this one. So local installation, you need a the local administrator rights. For your domain installation, you need a domain administrator rights. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. 1 minute. Local installation. Local. Okay. I understood. Yeah.
Okay. Fine. Any other question, guys? Rakesh, then super team Sheshadri.
Sir, I have one question, like the database instance installation. So
Mhm.
like if we have to install it in different servers, then we'll have to install database instance from SWPM,
Database instance. So
DB instance.
yeah, DB instance you have to install on the pass.
Okay, but here as you are doing it in the same box, that is why it is not
Yeah,
needed.
yeah, it is not needed.
Okay,
So the sequence will be ACS, then a database instance, then your pass will come.
okay.
Okay.
So in
So you have
three
to run this
different.
SWPM on the your past instance. Okay, past servers. Okay,
Okay,
not do not run any SWPM on the HANA database. Okay, that is not recommended if
okay,
it is distributed. Yeah,
okay, got
always run your SWPM on your application servers, whether it is ACS or whether it is PAS. On ACS ERS, you install, ACS ERS, and in PAS, you install the DB instance and then PAS instance. Okay, in case of the distributed or HA installation. Okay.
okay. Thank you.
If everything in one box, then doesn't matter. It will install everything in one box, in just like in my case.
Sir, one more thing, like how long will it take in a real life scenario
For installation,
for installation?
if everything goes smooth, so it took me around 2 to 3 hours. So 3 hours you can say the installation will take. All depends upon your hardware, the capacities. If your hardware capacity is good, then it get installed in 2 hours as well. I am talking about only in the installation. Some I am not talking. So some will
Oh,
take another 8 to 10 hours.
okay,
Depends upon your the number of support pack. If the some number of support pack is less, then installation some will be less.
But
okay.
anyway, for embedded theory, we have to run some, right?
Yes, you have to run this. Even not only for the embedded, even for any installation. Once you're done with the installation, you have to run this sum because you have to update your support pack. Okay, so you cannot run your product on the initial pack. Okay, so when you install with the export DVDs, okay, then it install as a a patch level as a 00. Okay, if there's a latest patch is available, then we apply the latest patch. For S4HANA 2020, just now, if you see that in our case, it is installed as a 00. I'll show you. But on service marketplace, if you go, you will see, if you see that this is the initial shipment. If
But
after this initial shipment, if nothing support pack is there, then we are okay. We don't need any sum and all that. Okay. But after the initial shipment, if you have any support pack, your feature pack, you have chosen in the maintenance planner. So whatever you have chosen in the maintenance planner, which in our case I have chosen that 01 feature pack 01. Okay, from initial it will go to the feature pack 01. Then once you go with the feature pack 01, then your patch level will change. So this is 000. If no feature pack, no support pack is there, it is on the initial pack, then we are good. So not required. Okay. We always go with the n-1 feature pack, support pack, whatever it is, or as per the guidance, or as per the agreement with the clients and the, yeah, as per their requirement. If some business package will not be there in the initial, those will be there in the feature pack 01. So that all depends upon their requirement. Okay, what they want. Clear this one?
Do you have the screenshots for the Windows installation also like this?
No, no.
Okay, so you'll be sharing this one at least, right?
Yes, I will share within the Google Drives. Yeah. The installation will be same. Only you will get additional for local or domain installation. Rest are same.
Because I have one next week, so I can refer to this document while doing.
So you have the S4HANA or some other systems version
This is 2020.
and feature pack 02 or
01.
01.
Yeah.
001, right?
Yes. So
Okay.
right now they gave some fixes. I mean, the systems which are already installed, for those they have given some hot fixes now, and they are asking us to move to 002. So I suggested that the new system that we have, we already like go to 002, but I don't know. They're saying we'll go to 001 and later see if they come up with the hot fixes again.
Yeah, maybe that the 01 is sandbox or development systems.
01 is development system. Then actually we have 2, 3 uh, like quality system. So this one will be the third quality.
Okay, so they might be following the same procedure whatever they have follow for the development sandbox to avoid any additional errors. So that
Yeah.
is expected. Yeah. So we always do like this. So we don't change our plan and these all this. Otherwise, if all is decided, if suddenly we follow different process, if then if they know, then if there's any issues, then if you go to the customer, then customer will ask why you have gone with this one. Okay, so we have already planned for upgrade in coming after 3 months or through 2 months. So why you have gone with this one? So that kind of issues, to avoid those things, so we follow whatever we have done. Okay, so this is all about agreement with the customers. If customers agree, go on direct 02, then fine. And you are okay, your team is okay, your project manager is okay, then go. Okay, otherwise not required. Fine.
Sir, during the HANA-DB installation, I have seen that you can install HANA client over there. Like,
Not required. We don't install HANA client on the database. If there is a requirement, then you
okay.
can install. Like if you want to configure the Commvault, okay, that time you need a HANA client and on DB servers. If any backup tools required to have the HANA clients on the DB, then we install. Otherwise, we don't install HANA client.
Okay.
HANA client is always at your application side.
Okay.
If you don't have any requirement, then don't install.
I have seen that. That is why I asked why it was there.
Maybe people don't understand why it is required. So basically, it is for backups configuration and all that. If you are triggering the backup, then HANA client is required. Otherwise, not required. So why the client is required on the database? We are not supposed to connect to the systems here. So by default, HANA client is installed. If you don't install the HANA client, so by default it is there in the database itself on the database servers. Okay. If you execute HDB SQL and all that a command, so it will take without HANA client. People doesn't know. They know HANA, but what is HANA? How it's work? Most of the people doesn't know. Okay, any other question, guys? Okay, so yeah, so we'll connect tomorrow. I'll ping the timing. So the timing will be same, but it's all depends upon my availability because migration is going on. So yeah. So if something plan is changed, then I will inform. Fine. So today we'll disconnect. Yeah. Thank you all.
Okay, sir.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.